Shalom Aleichem, sweetest friends. We are continuing our shir on the topic of pikuach nefesh, how far one has to go to save someone else's life, if he has to endanger himself. We saw in first shir that the Yerushalmi seems to hold that one must endanger oneself in order to save his friend. The Chavis Yair, as quoted by the Heilige Kloisenberger, we're learning his tshuva in the Divrei Yatziv and Chelik Vav Siman Test. Now we're knows Dalid. Chavis Yair brings a raya for this din from the Gemara in Bava Metzia, Samach Beis Amid Aleph. What does the Gemara say there? The famous machlokas, two people in the desert, and one of them has water. There's not enough for both of them. The Bikir says Chayecha Kodmin, the one who owns the water should drink it. And Ben Petura says, Al Yerechad b'misas Chavero, El Shtem Yishtu, where they read, one of them shouldn't see his friend die. They should both drink. And if they both die, they both die. That's the machlokas. Rabbi Akiva says one person gets the whole thing. Ben Petura says they split it. So it's mashma in the Gemara. Dafka hasim shim yishtu shteim yamusu vadai. So only there, says the Chavis Yair, if they both drink, they're both definitely going to die. Ma she'en kein b'safek yesh lomar yishtu shnehem v'lo yishtahu levado. So if both of them are going to die, then one person should take the whole thing. But if it's a safek that they both might live, so yishtu shnehem, let them both live. Let them both drink, and don't let one guy drink and the other guy die b'vadai. So if it's a suffix that they both may live, then they should both drink. Vim kain, you see from here that m'chuyav lichnos l'safek nefashos afila b'safek hatzala. Here one has to endanger himself. Misafek, he might die. In order to have a suffix, maybe he's going to save his friend, B'tzarechiyim. And he concludes with this required further investigation. In the Sefer Yismach Moshe, beginning of Parshas Vayigash, he brings this, and he writes that his raya is not compelling, and that the emes, it's tamor mitzad svara. And if it's shneim safek, this person can say my chazis. In other words, as we're going to explain in a moment. I'll just read his words. V'shebe'emes milsa de tamur mitzad asvar. It's wondrous logically. It doesn't make sense. B'zeh de l'shneim safek shaykh b'vadei lomar my chazis. If they're both safek, you can say my chazis. Ach l'drash ben petura de lo yoda hach dechayecha kodmin af im yamusu shneim habe hadin kain v'zeh asur lishtos kula v'zeh asur lishtos kula. But Ben Petura, who didn't know this drash of Chayecha Kodmin, even if they're both going to die, this is the din. He's not allowed to drink the whole thing. Neither of them are allowed to drink the whole thing. But according to Rabbi Akiva, Memelaf, B'safik, Aser, Safik and Safik is going to be Aser, B'zeh the Efshir Daf, B'safik, Uvadai. Ad Kan Lashon, HaYismach Moshe. And what Yismach Moshe means is, it's just like when we say, if somebody is told to kill your friend, or I'll kill you, Reuven tells Shimon, either kill Levi or I'll kill you. We say, Shev al Tasi is now let it kill Levi. How do you know your blood is redder? Maybe his blood is redder. What right do you have to kill him? So here also, it's shaykh to say, Lachaveiro, that he's not allowed to drink, the Yamus Balamayim, the Mai Chazis. It's usher for the other person to drink, and the owner of the water is going to die. The Mai Chazis. Who says that his blood is redder? If Ruvain's holding on to the water and Shimon's with him, who says that Ruvain has to give it to Shimon and that Shimon's allowed to drink and Ruvain should die? My chutz is that that Shimon should live and Ruvain should die. Ruvain has the water, so Shev al Tasik doesn't have to give it away. My chutz is who says the other guy's blood is redder. So when it comes to killing, say Shev al Tasik. You're not allowed to kill. Who says his blood is redder, your blood is redder, maybe his blood is redder. So you're not allowed to do anything. He has to die. Here also we can say my chazis. My chazis that the other guy's blood is redder. Maybe the guy who's holding the water's blood is redder. And maybe he can drink. But according to Ben Petura, who didn't know Chayecha Kodman, so there's no adifus for the Baal HaMayim. You hold Chayecha Kodman and the Baal HaMayim has an adifus. And who knows whose blood is redder, so we don't know, so he can just take it himself. But according to Ben Petura, who didn't know Chayecha Kodman, so there's no preference for the person who has the water in his hand. He also has an ister to drink the whole thing. Because of my chazis. And therefore, mutav shishtu shneim liyamusu. That's what the Yismach Moshe says. The l'shneim shaykh v'vadei lomar behefach my chazis. Say the opposite of my chazis. Meaning, in the my chazis case in the Gemara, you tell the guy who says you're allowed to kill him. You have to die yourself, because who said that your blood is redder? Maybe his blood is redder. So here also we say the opposite of my chazis. Who says he has to give away the water? He's allowed to keep the water. Who said the other guy's blood is redder? Maybe his blood is redder. But according to Ben Petura, Chadrash Ben Petura, who didn't know Chayecha Kodman, even if they both die, that's the din. My chazis, how's one allowed to take from the others? They could just both drink, but neither one's allowed to drink at the expense of the other. But according to Rabbi Kivu, Darshan Chayecha Kodman, so the Baal HaMayim has no isser, but his friend is not allowed to take the water from him. To endanger the owner of the water, my chazis. And that's what he says. If they're both besafek, they're going to die. And then it's usher for his friend to take the water. Because my chazis. Even if it's suffix for suffix. In our case, in the Gemara's case, it's Vadai. Vadai, the one holding the water, is going to live. So certainly he's not allowed, the other guy's not allowed to take it away. But even if it's suffix for suffix, meaning even if they're both suffix, they both are in doubt, we're not sure about either of them, it's still usher for him to take the water from his friend. Even if his friend's not Vadai going to live. Even if his friend's only Safek going to live. He's still not allowed to take the water. Why not? Because my chazis, who says your blood is redder, maybe his blood is redder. And he concludes and he says, Af Safek u Vadai. In other words, even though there's a Svara, that since he's Vadai, he's allowed to take it from the Baal HaMayim, who's only Safek. In other words, if he takes the water, he's going to Vadai live. And if the owner of the water drinks the water, he's only Safek going to live. And then you can't say my chazis, because there the guy who's going to Vadai live is a reason that he should have it. Why should the other guy get the water? Because he's going to live Vadai. The person holding the water is only going to live Misafek. But he says still, since Chayecha Kodman, the Baal HaMayim doesn't have to endanger himself. He doesn't have to endanger himself to save his friend. So he's allowed to keep the water, even though he's only a Safek, and his friend is a Vadai. It's a Safek if he drinks the water, if he's going to live. And if his friend drinks the water, he's definitely going to live. Still doesn't have to give it away because he doesn't have to endanger himself for his friend. Chayecha kodmin. So that's the hasaga of the Yismach Moshe and the Chavos Yair. It's what did the Chavos Yair want to say? Chavos Yair wanted to say that in the Gemara it's talking where if they both drink, they're definitely going to both die. Mashen came to Safek, they should both drink. And you can't say that one guy will drink and the other guy will die vadai. They should both drink. And the Yismach Moshe wondered, he said, well, what are you talking about? The guy, the Baal HaMayim, has every right to drink. Chayecha kodmin. So what can we say to be miyashiv l'Chavos Yair? So the poskim are marich. What's the din if they tell a gadol and a Talmid Chacham to kill an am haaretz? There do we say my chazis? They tell a big gadol, a big Rosh Yeshiva. They say either kill Bernie or we'll kill you. What's Bernie? Bernie is not a Talmid Chacham. Bernie likes to go to horse races. He likes to bet on horse races. So is he allowed to kill him? Because my chazis, his blood is redder. The Talmid Chacham's blood is redder. So according to that, we can say that since a person is chayav lahachzik b'midas hanava, person has to be humble. Like the Ramban says in his Igaris to his son, one should be bigger than you in your eyes. Therefore, he should give the water to his friend, and he should think that his friend is greater. And that's why he's giving the water. So I'll call upon him, if it's a suffix, it's like it's fake. Suffix, maybe he'll be saved. Maybe he'll be saved. And even if you say that he will be endangered, he might die, but maybe his friend is greater than him. So maybe that's why, in the case of suffix, the Chavos Yair said to give it to his friend, because of this Cain's faker. Continues the Kloisenberger Rebbe. As far as the raya itself would appear. So what was his raya? Because the Gemara says only if the guy who drinks is definitely going to live. If they both drink, they're both definitely going to die. So we say one guy should drink, he'll live, and the other guy will die. On Sheikain b'Safek, where they both might live, so then they should both drink. That was what the Chavos Yair said in the Gemara. So that it says, Im yishtu shneim yamusu, that's what they're thinking. They think that if they both drink, they're going to die. But maybe somebody's going to come in the meantime with water. Or maybe they're going to stay alive till they reach settled area. And it's only a suffix. And Ben Petura holds, Mutav sheyishtu shneim. Let them both live in the world of suffix. Let them both live in the world of suffix better than him living and his friend almost definitely is going to die. But Rabbi Akiva says no. Chayecha kodmin. His life comes first. So in other words, here it is a case of suffix and suffix. If they both drink, then they both might live. And yet Rabbi Akiva still says that one guy's allowed to take it all for himself. Because he doesn't have to be machnas himself to a suffix sakana to save his friend. Chavos Yair learned in the Gemara that if they don't drink, they're both definitely going to die. If they both drink, they're both definitely going to die. And only then Rabbi Akiva said that the Baal HaMayim is allowed to drink. But if it's Safek and Safek, if they're both Mesupik, if they're going to die if they drink, then they should share it. But you could say no. Rabbi Akiva meant was that they think that if they both drink, they're going to die. But it's really not true. They might live, somebody might come in the meantime, they might make it to the Yishuv, who knows? Therefore, it's Safek and Safek. Ben Azai says, go with that. Don't give yourself an advantage. Drink. Rabbi Akiva says, no. You don't have to endanger yourself for your friend. You can drink the whole thing. Chayecha kodmi. You have to drink the whole thing. And according to that we pass like Rabbi Akiva mechavero. So that's not like the Yerushalmi. Yerushalmi says you have to machnis yourself a suffix sakana to save your friend. Rabbi Akiva holds no. The Rambam and the Shulchan Aruch omit this completely. In the Tshuvas Beis Ephraim and Eben Ezer Siman Samech Vav, he explains that the Rambam was somech and what he wrote in Perek Aleph Milchos Rotzeach. If a woman was having trouble giving birth, she was in danger, etc. Yatzer Rosho ein nogim bo, v'nei she'ein doichen nefesh mipnei nefesh. You don't push away one soul for another. You don't touch the vlad to save the mother. So here also, since the Rambam Paskin that, we'll say in our case as well, Ein doichen nefesh mipnei nefesh. You don't have to push away one guy. One guy doesn't have to endanger himself to save his friend. Also, we can say that the Rambam is l'shitasa. That he writes, Perek Aleph, Milchos Rotzeach, V'shemeres HaNefesh, V'chi Yadalid, that if he sees his friend drowning in the river, in the sea, only if he's definitely able to save him. Only then is he chayav to save him. And that we needed to come on to v'chayechi imach, v'chayecha kodman, that's coming to teach us that b'safek, you don't have to endanger yourself. And the Rambam paskin that l'gabei toveh. In other words, the Rambam didn't have to tell us this din of chayechi imach, v'chayecha kodman. He already told us that when he told us that if one sees his friend tovea bayam, only if he's definitely able to save him, only then should he save him. But if he's not definitely able to save him, then he shouldn't. Because you don't endanger yourself to save your friend, not like the Yerushalmi. Because as we saw from the Bach, not the composer, the rabbi, the Gemara is mashma that even if he's mesupik, that if he sees chavero tovea bayam, he's chayav to go and save him. The Rambam says only if he's able to, mashma only if he's not going to be mistaken. He knows that he's going to be able to save him. So to be machnes yourself a suffix sakana, you don't have to. Since the Rambam paskins that, he doesn't have to paskin this case of chayecha kodman, because we already know it from Rambam and Hilchos Rotzeach Aleph Yudalid. That's only if he knows he's going to be able to save him, it says you have to go and save him. But if not, if there's a suffix to him, he doesn't know he's going to be able to do it, then he doesn't have to save him. In Tshuvas Maharam Shik, in Yerodeh Siman Kufnan Hey, in Dibra Masla Nikasafti, he also writes, not vada that the Baal HaMayim is going to die. Afterwards, there's a chshas sakana. And the Yerushalmi is Kaila ben Petura. Yerushalmi is following ben Petura. Yerushalmi says you have to endanger yourself to save your friend. That's why they both have to drink, because they're both suffix. So you have to endanger yourself to save your friend. We paskin like Rabbi Akiva, Chayecha Kodman. So we have a lot more to say, obviously, and I hope we say it. It's Hashem, it's Yad D'Shmaya. There's just a sea of material on this topic. So we should be Zocha Lilmod Ulamid Lishma Vlas L'Kaim Skol Divrei Sam Torah Tzvi Hava. Amen v'Amen. Shalom, shalom, sweetest, most beloved friend.